How's it going, everybody? Okay, we're just getting everything online now. We are live across LinkedIn, X, Instagram. Where else are we live? I think it's also Twitter. I think those might be the three. Jeez, I'm always mixing it up now. We're live all over the place, everybody. Welcome to the fourth episode. My whole brain's all messed up of ThumbstopLive. Everybody, you are in for a treat today. First up, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Fraser. He's going to be up here in a second. Absolutely blessing everybody with the wisdom that he has. But what I will say is for those of you who are attending this one for the first time, welcome to ThumbstopLive. This is the daily show where we're talking about creative strategy and ad tech, everything in between. And if you are interested in keeping up with us, what I will say is check us out on social. This is where you can find us. Our main page we're using is at ThumbstopLive on X, and we are streaming live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 1 p.m. EST. So we're making it happen, and it's all good. So with these, the main goal is just like introduce you or reintroduce you to so many of the voices that you see in your feeds and who bring such amazing content to the world. So who I want to bring up here for everybody to see and get to meet and of course just learn from is the man himself, Fraser.
Yo, can you hear me okay?
I got you, man. I got you.
It works. I was here before you. I was worried I was going to be late. And literally, I was like sprinting. I was like, I'm going to be late. And I like slammed on my laptop and I was like, and then I turned it and you weren't even here.
This is what I love about the lives because it's so real. Like as you were messaging me on Slack, I'm like, holy crap, I'm on another call. I'm trying to wrap this one up. Fraser's in the back. People are waiting. We got to get this thing going. But man, we make things work. We make things work around here.
I tell you what, I didn't know you were doing this like every single day. Like, no, I thought it was just like you were just doing like a week or so. And then like, you know, I didn't know like how long are you going to keep on going until the end of time or?
Honestly, we're just gonna keep running it back, and it's just like we're gonna have repeat guests, is what I'm thinking. But I've been lucky. So we kicked off on Tuesday. We had Dara and Barry join us, and then Wednesday we had someone on our team named Travis who runs our internal.
I saw that
organic social. Yeah, and then yesterday we had Reza and Alicia also on the internal side. Today we got you and Hannah. Tomorrow we got a bunch, or next week we got a bunch of people every single day. So we're just running it back. We're running it back nonstop.
He's pulling in favors left, right, and center.
It's so interesting because like anyone who's tapping into, if you want to join one of these and just chop it up with me, like DM me. I'm always open to it because I think like, again, speaking to Fraser specifically, you see him in the feed all the time, just dropping gems. So it's just like any chance that people can hear from folks like Fraser, it's absolutely incredible. Why would we not give this to the community? You know what I mean?
Why not? That would be so silly.
I love it, man. I love it. I guess like the right place to start off is we were talking about earlier. There's going to be a bunch of people who, of course, know you. What I'm curious is the ones who don't know you. So if you can give a quick rundown of your background, work experience, what you're most well known for, honestly, anything you're willing to share, and we can go from there.
Okay, I'll go for it. Okay, so I run Fraggle. We are an ad creative agency based in the UK. You've probably seen me around Twitter or YouTube or LinkedIn. They're probably the main places that I post. And yeah, my goal is to help D2C brands add some creative diversity into their ad account. Yeah, we help brands from like the standard UGC stuff that everyone does, and then to the more higher production stuff. And we're super lucky to have an amazing studio to do it from. We've got a great team. Yeah. That's me. I don't know what else you want to know. Surely everyone already knows, right? I hope so.
Fraser just says this stuff so casual. It's like, yeah, we have an amazing team. Yeah, we got a studio. But this guy just opened this freaking studio this year and is crushing it. The team's grown to, what is it, 12 people you were saying? Something like
12
that?
12 now, which is absolutely mental. Like I was like looking back on like old photos like last night from like 2018 when it was like me and my business partner in like this tiny little 200 square foot office. And then, and it was like there was like three of us for like such a long time. And then like the pandemic happened. And then that was when we really got into e-com because everyone was selling stuff online. And so, people needed ad creative. And so that's kind of when we probably started going down like the ad creative journey. And then it's, the past like 2 years, 3 years have been a little bit wild. And then obviously, last year we moved from what was like a 500-600 square foot office, basically, where we just managed to film our stuff, into a 2,500 square foot warehouse where we are now. Yeah, this is my YouTube room, which I built. I was like, I want a really nice background. I want a desk where I can sit down and I can do this stuff. So I made it happen. I mean, Hannah already said, love your background, so it's working. The investment was worth it.
That makes me so happy. It's one of those ones that's so nice that it's almost fake. And I'm like,
okay,
damn,
you have no idea how many calls I have been on where they've accused me of having like a green screen background or something like that. But look, it's real. See? Real.
I can lie on the couch. I can touch the pictures. We can do everything.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's really long. It's like ridiculously long.
It's like,
but
I'm tired now from going back there.
It is real. It is. Yeah. But it's all, it's great being able to like, because like, so much of what I do at Fraggle now is make content to help, D2C brands and to help other marketers. And it's great to have like a space where I can just come and do that.
Absolutely killing it, man. And you're in Manchester, yeah?
In the UK, yes, sir.
There you go. It's so funny because again, I'm in Toronto, and then Drake's out in your ends. So like right now, as he prepares for his like new album launch, so I'm seeing a lot of your city right now in his promo. So I'm like, okay, that's where Fraser's at. About to talk to him.
Yeah, big time.
I love it. One of the things you had mentioned, like it was just you and your co-founder for a really long time, and I want to talk about like how did you meet your co-founder and kick off that relationship?
Man, we went to college together. So college for us isn't college like it is in the US, particularly. I don't know whether it's the same in Canada. I'm not sure. But college for us is from 16 to 18, right? So it's
different.
Yeah. So we have high school, and then in college, which is where you kind of niche down in what you want to do. And I niche down into doing video. And Nick, my co-founder, was like one of the guys that we was just a friend that I ended up, getting really close to. And we both we were really lucky. I was on like the video side and enjoyed the filming, but he really liked the editing side. So it kind of made sense. There was like a dynamic there. So we just started making like corporate videos, trying to make some kind of money out of doing this. And then I decided then to go to film school. He became a builder. The usual, the usual thing. And then kind of in that time, he kind of learned more about the camera stuff and got into that a little more. And then, when I graduated, we just kind of just started. We were very big on the organic social. We were helping businesses with like their organic and just getting a presence with video on social. And then, and then we just like slowly built that. But it all came from a friendship in college, basically, which is mad. Like I've known Nick for 12 years.
Damn. That's so insane. And a lot of people who are building businesses go into it like with a co-founder or founding team. How important is that relationship? Like to just be super solid?
I think.
Any thoughts?
I think it's so important. I think one mistake that everyone makes with co-founders is you get someone which has ends up with a similar skill set to you, and I don't think that's the right way to do it. Me and Nick have very different skill sets and very different goals of what we want to achieve from the business. Like, there's no way on hell's earth Nick would do this. Like, there is no way that, like, most people don't even know that I have a co-founder because Nick is so like in the background, right? And he likes it that way, and that's perfectly fine. But there's a lot of stuff that Nick can do that I just don't have the ability to do. I don't know how to do it. And so we complement each other very well. And I'm normally the one which is like thinking up here all the time. And he's like, let's bring it back down to earth. Like, and I think you need that. And I think it's so important to get that in any kind of like co-founder, founding team, whatever. If you all have the same skill sets, and I've seen it happen all the time, you all end up fighting for the same thing. And then that's where it doesn't end too well. And I think, you really do need to make sure that you have those complementary skill sets and complementary sides of the business that you want to be on.
That's huge. First of all, shout out to Nick. Probably doesn't get enough love. Then we got to give some love. Shout out to Nick.
No. He's currently. I can hear him in the studio playing heavy metal music, filming some stuff for one of the clients. I can currently hear it.
I love it, man. Second of all, the chat. There's people who are tapping in the chat. So what up, Corey? It's good to see you. Thanks on the cardigan comments. That's incredible. And then Fraser, coming back on your side of things, like in your worlds here. I guess what I'm curious about is you had briefly mentioned, like you went off to film school after college.
Yeah, big time.
Film school side of thing. Let's talk through that, what you were doing there, how it prepared you.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be a cinematographer. Like I wanted to make movies so bad. And I mean, even still, like, you know, I'm sure, you know, where you're from, where I'm from, you're always, you know, you'll probably see a film set every couple of months. You know, someone's doing some film, and it's like, for me still, I'm like walking past that, and I'm and I end up stopping there and looking and watching, because I just find that whole industry so incredible. And I wanted to do that for such a long time. So much so that I went to film school. I studied how to do it. I made short films. I made music videos. I did all this stuff. But then I just kind of fell out of love a little bit with it once I found out how not hard it was, because we all know it's going to be hard, but just like how kind of ruthless it is. And that was about the same time that I started working at a social media agency with Steve Bartlett, which most people know now. Diary of the CEO guy, like everyone knows who he is. Like when he had his agency, Social Chain, I came on board as head of video on his personal brand team. And it was at that point where I kind of discovered how powerful social is, and how you know, and how fun it is to grow a business, and how fun it is to like build something. And so I think that's what kind of turned me on to building a business, going down the social route and stuff like that. Because I can think this was also the point where, I'm showing my age a bit here, like where like video in general just started to take over the internet. You know what I mean? Like there was a period where like all we really had was YouTube. Like that was the only really real way. And then suddenly you had like Facebook video became one of the #1 ways to consume video. And then all these short form, you know, systems started to pop up. And so I just got really interested in that. And I was like, I think I want to do that more than I want to make movies. And I was lucky enough to, you know, to be able to bring that skill set over to like doing stuff like this, right? So I can geek out about gear and I can go and film some really cool looking stuff. But if I want, I can just sit here and grow a business if I want as well. I've got the best of both worlds.
I love that, man. When you were working at Stephen Bartlett's agency, when did you start thinking about like, ooh, you know what? Like I want to branch out and build my own thing?
Well, I was still kind of trying to. So basically, like I was doing that stuff, and then I came up with this idea of, wouldn't it be amazing if we made a reality show documentary about Social Chain? I was like, that would be so sick. And so I hired Nick to come in and do that. And so like by this time we were still like doing some like corporate videos and stuff. And then and then I got Nick in to do that, and I worked at Social Chain for 3 months, and then they fired me because I was too busy doing my own stuff and I didn't really have time to do my actual job. So yeah, pretty early on, like I didn't work there for very long at all, but it gave me a lot of inspiration into doing what I wanted to do. And I just don't like having a boss. I think there's so many people which will agree to this. Like I just don't like having to answer someone and someone taking credit for the work that I've done. So
that is such a common founder story. Like I've heard and I've talked to so many people.
It's just the worst. Like who wants a boss? I don't believe that anybody does, you know?
And if you were talking to a young Fraser after these experiences you've gone through and now building out like a successful agency at this point, is there any like words of wisdom or anything you'd tell young Fraser?
I think to not stress so much. Like I think as I've got older, I've slowly realized that there isn't really much you can do. Like stuff is gonna, all you can do is your best. You just need to do what you can control. Stop trying to control everything all the time, and just take every day as it comes. Because that is all you can do. That's all you can control. And even now, I catch myself sometimes, and I'm worrying about what's going to happen in a year's time or what's going to happen, whatever. and you just can't, like, you just, whatever happens is going to happen, so just let it go.
Yeah. I've become a meditator in that sense, because like my brain
Yeah, big
also does
time.
the same thing, and it's like, wait, come back to the breath, present
Yeah,
moment. That's all that matters.
yeah. Like I sent out a job offer, yesterday, and I was sat there and I was thinking, like, fuck, can we like, are we going to be able to pay for them in a year's time? Are we going to be able to do this and that? And I was like, hold on a second, like, what? Like, I don't even, like, it sounds awful, but I don't even know whether I'll be here in a year's time. Like, let's dial it back. We need this person right now to help us progress. Let's just deal with that now. I think that's the best way to go about it.
That's so real. That's so real. Now on the agency front, like you've had a pretty unique experience to bring you to this point. How has that experience, and I'm specifically thinking on like the film side, shaped how you think about the paid ads world?
Yeah, I think it's given me more of a broader, I think mostly because so many people in the paid ads world come from a paid media background. Look at like, like now, I said this like a couple of days ago, that you can tell that media buying is slowly dying because everyone's forming a creative agency. Like that's what's happening. And the issue is that a lot of those people have no history in creative, and they don't know how to tell a story. They don't know, when you look at the creative agencies that are pumping out the best creative, they are either employing creatives and filmmakers, or they were filmmakers themselves, and they know how to do this stuff. I don't know many, maybe there are some out there that came from paid media, i.e. running ads, and then ended up making a creative agency and actually making the creative themselves. Very, very little, and so I think that's what one thing that's kind of helped me is that I can actually make the creative. I was literally, doing some concepts and filming some stuff prior to sprinting in here, and that, for me at least anyway, keeps me grounded in like what I'm doing, because I know the effort that goes into it. I know how hard my team work to do this stuff. I don't think of it where, when I'm giving them a task to do, I used to do that task. So I know how hard it is, and I know how long this stuff takes. And so it helps me definitely have a much better idea of what goes into it. But to be fair, it has been hard, because I've had to learn a whole new skill set at the same time. Like, I didn't know how to run ads. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I had like a vague understanding, but I had to learn that skill set myself in order to be able to combine the two loves.
And speaking to the creative folks who are with us today, and also like tapping into the recording, how did you learn the paid media side?
Back in the day of when I wasn't on Twitter, the biggest things were Facebook groups. The AdLeaks Facebook group was like a massive one. Like, if there's any like OGs like from there, like the AdLeaks Facebook group, I remember going through there and learning how to do it. A lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of like speaking to very talented people and just trying it. There were so many times where I'd like run ads for just anything, like just to, like if I, like my YouTube channel or whatever, I just run ads to that, put like 100 quid behind it or something like that, so that I can try and learn how to do these systems and stuff. Just, and then there's so much great education out there. And I think that's why I've fallen into what I do now, which is, part of my job is to educate people on this stuff, because although there's a lot out there, there's also a lot of not so great stuff out there, and people just trying to shill courses and stuff. And I think that, more people need to make really good educational content.
Huge, man. So I've done this thing where I've pulled 3 of your tweets. Want to pull them up, get your thoughts on them and what we have going on.
Okay, I'm with you.
I said, oh no. Why did you say, oh no? Why did we start there?
I don't know why I said no. They're fine. Go on. I just don't remember half my tweets. That's the problem. So
me too. I kind of just let them rip, and then we see how they go.
Let's make it happen.
But this one right here was an ad breakdown.
Yeah.
And like getting into your thoughts.
2022.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I've been
So
doing this stuff for a long time. All you creative agencies coming in here, you didn't even think of the idea in 2022. They weren't
I'm
even
going deep into
bouncing
the
around.
archives. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
pull
big
these
time.
out. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I wanted to actually do two things. The first thing I wanted to do was like get your thoughts on this creative now after the 3 years of experience you've built.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
want to break it down into why those are your thoughts.
All
So
right.
so what do you think? Is this something that would crush?
It's still a banger. Look at it. Like what a great concept for an ad. Like what a brilliant concept. Like I've always said this, the main purpose of a ad creative is to drive people away from the platform. Like that, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get someone to click on the ad to go and do something, whether that's buy something, sign up for a lead form, whatever that is. You're trying to get them to take action. And so whatever cheats or whatever, low hanging fruit you can pull on in order to make that happen, that's what you need to do. And that is exactly what this does. Like we're dropping the curiosity because you want to know what the after looks like. So you're dropping, the curiosity psychology is in play there because you've blurred it and you're telling people you won't believe this. This is crazy. And so you're getting, you're pulling them towards clicking it. And also, I mean, I'm already answering your second question of why it's so great. Is we're giving people a time frame, which is so important, particularly for like any kind of health and wellness skin stuff. Like they've got week 1, week 4. So straight away, without even seeing the after, you've already kind of filled in the blank that the after must be good. Otherwise, they wouldn't have advertised it. So already you're saying, wow. So in 4 weeks, I can get you're putting it together. I can get amazing skin. Oh, cool. Okay, click. Let's see that. And then I think if I remember right, this led to like an advertorial where it was like, more about, mate, it's all up there. This like led to, like an advertorial where it was more detailed about, it was like a listicle kind of thing, whatever. But it's, oh man, what a great ad. What a great
Still
ad.
a banger. Still a banger.
Still a banger. Big time.
Here's the thing that I'm so curious about. How the hell do you come up with this stuff? Like, what's the brainstorming process look like to get here?
I mean, this wasn't one of my ads. I pulled this from
gotcha.
like Foreplay, right? So this was, competitor. Sorry. I pulled this from the motion research tool back in 2022. And I mean, we've done similar ads to this. I actually spoke to the Hey Bud guys, like this is the reason why this came up, because I was like, actively speaking to them. And I remember asking them about it, and they just, they were just wondering, they're just doing what they were thinking what they could do to increase the click-through rate. And so they thought, well, what if we just withhold some information and only give them that information when they click off? Same way with any kind of clickbait thumbnail on YouTube, you're filling people with curiosity in order to get them to click. The only issue with ads like this is that your clicks aren't as qualified as they potentially could be, because the whole reason this exists is to get clicks. And so people are just curious to see the after. They might not necessarily have acne or even care about the product. They just want to see the after. And so that's something you do have to be wary of when you are kind of running any kind of like clickbaity ad like this.
And what was the landing page experience again? It's so funny that you had this memorized and it wasn't
yeah,
your ad. Like that's
it
like
was
like insanity.
yeah, it was an advertorial.
Hmm.
And I think it was the heading image was like the week 1, the week 4 image next to each other. And then it just went, it was like a testimonial kind of thing, but like written in like third person kind of thing, if I remember right.
I love that, because to even speak to it could be clickbaity, but they've done their job of delivering then what people have come for immediately, and then provided additional value right after that.
Yeah. That's again one of the most important things. And I can't remember who said it. Someone said on Twitter, and now I just preach it all the time as well, is that with any kind of hook, it's about opening that loop, like that brain loop. And as humans, we want to close that. We want some kind of ending. And that's the same thing. If you promise something in a hook, you want to try and deliver on that promise as, you know, as soon as possible, or drag it out so that you can increase watch time. But yeah.
Amazing. Okay, let's jump to another one here. So I'm not going as far back. It's more recent than anything. 2024.
Oh, okay.
But it's talking to the hooks. Hooks are overrated. Hook frameworks don't work, is what bad marketers say. Jokes.
Got him.
Got him. So it's a similar question. It's like the hooks that you have here, is this something that you're still leaning into to this day? Or has it now evolved, and why?
Yeah, I mean, trending hooks change all the time. I think there's some on here which just work all the time. Like the top TikTok shop finds, that doesn't necessarily work so much anymore just because that was something that was just very hot back then. But the lazy way to get X is still a banger. Like we don't necessarily have like a list of hooks that we just pull from and we're like, oh yeah, let's use this one and this one. So I don't think that necessarily works so much because this was definitely in like the heat of like the UGC bubble where everyone was just making UGC testimonial content that started with some kind of hook like this. So it doesn't necessarily work so much, I don't think, anymore like this. But I definitely think there's a lot you can learn from hooks like this, and then you can rewrite them, you know, like yeah, like the lazy way to get X. Okay, well, what are we saying here? We're trying to give people a shortcut. I'm sure you can build some ads around that, right? The lazy way to get better ad results, or so, you know, whatever. Like you can, yeah, there's a lot of psychology behind any hook. And I think what's super important is that's what you learn, not necessarily the hook, but it's what psychology is going into that hook to make it work.
And this brainstorming process, is it collaborative at your agency, or is it people are kind of put into their silos? How does it look?
Yeah, I mean, the creative strategist obviously will kind of will take care of most of this. At our agency, I review every single concept that comes through the company because I'm a control freak. But that's the way that I like to do it, mostly because I'd like this part of the job. And so like, why wouldn't I? So there definitely is a collaborative part that we urge everyone to, like, if they want some feedback on an idea or they don't have any ideas, just to kind of drop a message in Slack or turn around to the person next to you and just kind of speak about it. And we do have like Slack channels where everyone shares stuff that they see online.
Huge.
But I think the number one thing for anyone creative is just to give people time to be creative. And that is, I'd argue, the hardest part of my job, is that I am trying to put a time limit on people's creativity because I have to get deliverables out. And so it's a bit of a, you know, it's a bit of a difficult process sometimes. But for anyone, the more time you give people to be creative, the better the results, often enough.
I feel like I've seen this short video that circulates on social media of someone being asked to draw Spider-Man in like, you have 5 minutes, you have 1 minute,
I
you
think
have
I've seen
30
that as well.
seconds, you have 10 seconds, and it's like the quality just significantly
Yeah.
reduces.
It's true. Yeah, it's like creative people need that time not doing anything, or like not like as soon as you put any kind of time constraint on creativity in general, it often makes it much more difficult.
100%. Okay, I got one more tweet to pull up here,
Cool.
and it's relating to AI.
Oh shit. Okay. All right, let's do this.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you better make sure you like and comment workflow, and I'll DM you the exact process I use. I can't give away anything without getting some data, unfortunately. So
Everybody throw that in right now. Like and
don't
comment.
do that,
You know what to do.
because you won't get it. It only lasts for 24 hours, guys.
Oh shit.
Okay. Sorry.
We missed. I think what I'm mainly curious about is, like, without getting into the meat and potatoes, it's like your relationship with AI, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's like,
I mean, we've had multiple chats about it, haven't we? Like, and I feel like my attitude towards AI is, it's a bit of a mixed one. I'm sure, as everyone they just hate that AI is slapped on everything now. And I think that has become a bit of a problem with AI, is that you don't really know what is AI. You know, like that Amazon shopping thing, it turned out that it was a load of guys in India adding stuff to
Yeah.
people's carts. Like like I feel like there is so much of that, unfortunately, which means that people don't necessarily trust AI so much. But I think AI definitely has a part, and a growing part, in the way that we make creative, you know, whether that's ads or anything. But I think people blow it up to be something that, you know, like I was today, literally, I spent 40 minutes trying to generate a shot in VO3 that actually was usable. And none of it was usable. I ended up just going filming it on my phone.
Damn.
Because it was easier, and it was like the amount of time you have to put into this, you have to question. And I'm sure it won't always be like this. Like, you do have to question, is it worth doing this? But one place that I really see AI being so incredibly useful, and what I use it for all the time, is like research, is for like script writing and brainstorming and stuff like that. I think it's so incredibly powerful for that stuff. So many of the scripts that I write are guided by AI, or sometimes entirely written by AI now, because if you train it well enough and you give it the right context, it can be so incredibly powerful. And also, you know, even for, you know, like what you guys are doing with the, you know, with the agents and stuff, using AI to open up new skill sets for people is massive. I think, like, perhaps someone that doesn't have experience in media buying, doesn't fully understand it, they can use a tool like, you know, the agents in motion to quickly get what they need out of the data without having to completely understand it. And I think, I think that's where it's incredibly powerful in ad creative specifically, I think.
Huge. Now, a lot of people I've actually spoken to who are more on the creative side are quite intimidated by AI and like where to start even in their process. So I guess, like, what would your recommendation be to them on how to even get started?
Yeah, I think the easiest place to start with AI when it comes to ad creative is like voiceover stuff. Like 11 Labs is so good. It is like, that tool has changed like the industry. And, you know, I used to be a voiceover artist, you know, like during uni, that's what I used to do for a bit of spare cash. And like, I feel bad for voiceover artists, real bad, because they are, you know, it's like an industry which has kind of just been destroyed. But it is so good, and it's such a great place to get started, like, and such a great place to start to make ad creative, because all you need is that software. You put in your script, you download the voiceover, you put a load of your B-roll over it, and you've got an ad. Like, that is the easiest way. Like, that is the easiest way to make ads right now. And then when it comes to scripting and stuff like that, I think, like, obviously the easiest way is by using ChatGPT or Claude or something like that, in order to, like, they're free. You can use them to start to generate some scripts, and you can pay for it when you need that extra stuff. But I'd say, like, the best place to get started is 11 Lads and ChatGPT, and just kind of messing about. Using like the deep research tools will save you hours of your time. For sure.
You used to be a voiceover artist.
Big time. I used to be a radio presenter.
Oh my God. What? So hold on. Is the radio voice what I'm hearing today? Like, is
probably.
this the
voice?
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Like, was there any manipulation like that you would start to do and be like, all right, this is the new version of me?
I mean, probably. I imagine if you listen back to some of my old stuff, that there probably is a chance that I mean, Nick always makes fun of me because, you know, as soon as I come onto a mic, my voice completely changes.
No way.
Oh, 100%.
No
like,
way.
Still,
you're kidding me.
Yeah. My voice doesn't sound like this half the time. But
I need to catch
crazy.
that other voice. Then I need to catch that other voice.
Yeah, I've had a long career for a 30-year-old. I've done a lot of different stuff.
Oh man, I love it. The last thing that I want to wrap up with on the Twitter side of things is tying it all together into the format idea. So just like formats wise, is there a list of things that are absolutely crushing it right now that you're seeing?
In terms of ad creative? Yeah. Longer format stuff, the VSL format is working across the board for all of our clients right now. I think it's a really fun format to make, and I enjoy watching ads like that. I think the next thing is going more organic with your UGC than potentially we used to. I don't think UGC is dead, but I think that format of UGC where it was, hey guys, I've just been sent this product and it's really great. I think that has kind of had its day because just people don't believe it. It's not, it isn't the type of content that we consume anymore. So I think making more raw, like, more raw looking UGC, definitely. And oh man, what else is working? I don't know. They're like the two things that come to mind straight away. I probably should have done some prep, but
it's all good. It's all good. I feel like the ones that come top of mind are the ones that are most effective. Like our industry changes so much, and to be at the bleeding edge to try and like find the through lines of what works, like those are great. Killed it, man.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah. That's the stuff that is definitely working consistently.
I love it. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about hot takes, and we're going to start kind of broad on this one, so you can take it in any direction you want. But do you have a creative strategy hot take right now?
Let me think. You know what? I actually wrote a tweet the other day that's going up at like next week. That was this. It never stops, man. It never. Honestly, the content game never ever stops. Let me have a look. What was it?
Why do you think I'm doing this daily? The content game literally never stops.
Exactly. Yeah. Creative volume is bad for your account. I don't believe in creative volume at all. I think that is a myth. Like, because to me, how I see it is you can throw as much spaghetti at the wall as you want, but only the good stuff is going to stick. And you'll be much better throwing like 3 targeted darts at a dartboard instead of like a handful of like 100 just lobbing them. Like, I feel like that makes so much more sense to me. Yes, you do need, more ads, but it depends on so many different things. Like a brand that needs to spend more on their ads because their AOV's higher, for example. If they launch 200 ads every week, their ad spend is going to have to be out of this world to get any kind of data back. So I don't think creative volume is the answer to everyone. I think you will be in a much better position if you just took your time and launched some really good ads, and you just research them and you use the data from your other ads to continue to do that. If you want to up it, then continue that high quality of creative. Just get more people to make them that can spend more time. That's how I see it. Not like, let's just change this 2 seconds in this ad and get it up there because it's another ad. I don't think that's not the best way to build an account.
Yeah, there's something that's not efficient about it. Like or it's going to be a ton of slop that starts to come
in. Yeah. And I think, again, going back to AI, that's one of the main problems, is that there's so much slop that it becomes, it becomes easier to stand out because you don't have to do much to stand out. But yeah, like you said, ad accounts just end up just full of trash.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see how it's going to go as like more and more slop. Like, are people going to stand out even more with the best of the best? I think so. Like, that's the logical conclusion of how it starts to play out.
I hope so.
Yeah. So you've worked with so many clients across all different industries, all different sizes, everything in between. What's let's say, unique or like weird ask that you've got from a brand?
I mean, our weirdest one is that we work with a foot care brand, which is like a pedicure one thing, and so we film a lot of feet. A lot of feet. It is. You know what? I'm gonna get up the ad, which is probably, I'd argue, the strangest thing that I have ever had to shoot ever. So it's his brand, and the actual product is so sick. It's such a, you know, it actually works. That like it's a great product to film and make ads for, because the demo is, you know, so convincing, and it just makes people buy it straight away. But it is kind of rank because it's feet. But this video in general, oh my god, where is it? Let me try and find it. It was just what, it was the worst to film. So we had to. We hired an actor for it. We shot it in our studio. Oh, where is it? Come on.
I was gonna ask.
There it is.
I was gonna ask if it was gonna be your feet. I was gonna ask. Is it going to say your feet in there?
It is not my feet. It's not my feet. Okay. Can you see my screen? I've just shared it.
I'm gonna pull
Engineered to do one thing: fix your feet instantly.
Okay, here we go. All right. Is it on? Because I've only got one monitor, so I can't see.
Got you. We got you.
We are okay. So all right. So this is it, right? So we had a blackout. We blacked out the studio, and that's my hand in the glove. Okay, like doing the actual device. Okay, and we were like, we had to cast this by someone that has dry feet, which we've become very accustomed to now. But I had to shave this girl's foot, like exfoliation pad thing. And this is the weirdest part. That, did you see it? Did you see that I'm rubbing moisturizer on her feet? Like,
Yeah.
and absolutely, okay. Thank God, okay, that we'd already worked with this actor a couple of times, and we were like fairly friendly, and we knew each other. Because if this was the first time meeting an actor and I had to massage their feet, it would have been the most awkward thing in the world. So yeah, it was that was an experience. I have to say that one was
That
pretty
is
mad.
so funny.
It was a really strange afternoon. Just like had these black latex gloves on, and I was like massaging her feet. I felt like I had to like text my wife afterwards and be like, I've got something to admit. You know,
I did a bad thing.
I did a bad thing today. You might not want to be married to me after this. Yeah, that was, I'd say that was probably the weirdest request.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think anyone's going to beat that. I don't think anyone is going to beat their, you know, the co-founder of the business doing that. Like, can you imagine being one of my team walking into the studio and seeing their boss massaging some actor's feet?
Who came up with that idea? And were they like, all right, Fraser, you're up. Go massage those feet.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, no, it was one of our creative strategists came up with the idea, and I remember going through the concepts, and I was like, who is going to do this? I was like, who's actually going to do the thing? And they were like, oh, I don't know, like whoever can. And originally I was going to get one of the girls in the office to do it, because I was like, that'd look, you know, it would probably feel a bit more comfortable for the female actor if there's another female doing it. But the latex gloves were too big for everyone in the office other than me. So that's why I got roped into it. It's because the glove fit.
Oh my God, the glove fit. The glove fit. Oh
Yeah.
man, I love that. I love that. That's so funny. I think like switching gears from the funny to something that's like the lesson side of things. Something that I am quite curious about is because you've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
What is one of the lessons that you've had to learn the hard way in creative strategy?
One of the lessons I've had to learn the hard way.
Or building a business, like there's a bunch of things, but one of those
Yeah,
lessons
I think
that would be beneficial.
That's a really difficult question. I think that I think in terms of running a business, I think the lesson that I've had to learn is that sometimes you do have to lose some money in order to like learn a lesson. And we've done that many a times where we've invested in something and it just has not gone the way we wanted it to, and we've lost a couple of grand, or we've lost, you know, maybe 10 grand, something like that. And it's so painful. But sometimes you have to, you know, you have to do that, and failure is totally fine. In terms of creative strategy, I think the hardest lesson to learn, and this is, any creative strategist will agree with this, that sometimes the ad that you love is not the one that ends up performing. And it's so painful because you might have really taken your time to make this ad. You might absolutely like love it, but it doesn't perform, so it has to be cut and it has to, leave the account. And again, it's totally fine as long as you've learned something from it. As long as there's some kind of learning from that ad, that it's not a waste.
This is I'm trying this for the first time. Let me know if you can hear this.
Yeah, that's the music. That is the exact music. Yeah,
that's what you hear when you see that ad
time.
just float away, and you're like, "Damn
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
that was the
yeah.
one." That was
Yeah,
the one.
it is the worst, particularly with what we do, because we obviously for some of the ads, like we're out there filming it. It takes, maybe 3 or 4 hours for us to shoot it. Maybe even, if it includes casts and stuff like that. There's been some ads where potentially just to make it, it's cost us, $1,000, maybe 1,500 quid, something like that to make. Like that is, for one ad, for one ad, 2 ads, a set of ads is quite a lot of money, not even putting a price on people's time. And then to see that flop, that's brutal. That is brutal. My bank balance does not like that.
Yeah, most definitely. And then kind of along these lines, is there a problem that like you're facing right now that has you banging your head against the wall? Like for me, I'm trying to figure out like where AI is going to go. Like this has my head in loops of trying to predict what this should start to look like and how to play in this world. It's kind of keeping me up at night, but I'm wondering if there's anything in your world that has you just going like,
I think just running a business in general, like running a growing business, is what has me banging my head against the wall all the time. Because when you think you finally cracked something, it breaks again, or another problem comes up just as fast. Like that, like my job feels so much like a firefighter sometimes. I'm just, I'm putting out fires constantly and I'm trying to fix things. And yeah, that is a thing that you wake up in cold sweats about. You're like, oh no, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? Like, and yeah, it is. That is the most difficult thing. It really is difficult, but it feels great when you fix it. But then suddenly something else happens and you're back to square one.
There's another one and another one. Yeah. I had Reza, our CEO, on yesterday, and he was talking about we were talking just about like tech. And it's like, is there a tech company or is there an opportunity that you're excited by? He's like, I don't know if this is a thing, but something that supports founders and CEOs and like managing the business. Because it's like you guys face unique problems in your day-to-days, right?
To be fair, like even like what I've started doing, because one thing that I really struggle with is like numbers and figures and that side of the business. Obviously, we don't have like a CFO or anything like that. And so I have a ChatGPT project and I've told it to be my company CFO, and I input our P&Ls every single month into it and the bank balance, everything. Like, it's probably a massive breach of like data protection, stuff, but it's fine. It's my data. And I'll use that project to ask it like CFO questions. And that has like helped incredibly, like with one of my major weaknesses in growing a business. Like I can ask it like, can we afford to pay this member of staff? Can we afford to make this hire? Can we afford, like asking it those questions where you might already know that you can do it, but you need like a gut check, and you need like you suddenly feel a bit more confident if someone else tells you that. That has been like incredibly helpful. And even just for like, using our P&Ls, what's the forecast for whatever, it just really helps. If you can't afford to have that role in the business, or you're not very good at that role, there are ways that you can use it to support you. But that's one that I've like massively benefited from. And even going a step further, like your personal finances, like acting as like a CFO of your life is another great hack.
Huge. Fraser, you've been so generous with your time. I have one final question for you.
Go for it, man.
It's what's your favorite quote and why?
Oh shit.
I can kick us off while you think.
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
Sorry to spring you. I've sprung this one on like 3 people and it's the same reaction every time. I'm like, yo,
I know the quote, but I need to find out who said it. So go on, carry on. Yeah.
So on my end, I've been talking about this one quite a bit, but it's a Derek Jeter quote. Derek Jeter used to be the famous
Okay.
shortstop for the New York Yankees. And this is
Yeah.
like applicable in all areas of my life right now. But the idea is it's preparation builds poise. Poise builds confidence. Confidence changes everything. So preparation, if you put the work in and put yourself in a spot where you think that you're able to succeed, that removes some of the jitters. You still have them, but there's some poise that's involved. And then once you build up the experience in whatever it is, ad creation, people management, building a business, that leads to confidence. And as soon as you unlock that confidence layer, that's when you can achieve everything. So it's like I'm consistently searching for that confident feeling in different things because I don't always have it. Like it takes some
Yeah, I
time
like
to
that. That's
ultimately
really
get there.
nice. I like that. Mine is definitely not as like deep as that.
No,
The
it's all
one that
good,
I
man.
always come back to, and I think it's because, you know, because my background is the best camera is the one in your pocket. And I don't even know who said it because I think so many people have said it by now. But for me anyway, someone that's obsessed with camera gear and, you know, like one of my passions is taking photos, and my house is full of prints of photos I've taken and stuff. Like, I absolutely love it. And I think that's it. It works for ad creative because so many people want to get nice gear and want to get a nice camera and stuff. Often the phone is the best one that you have. Like, I just like it. I think it's just a nice little, like, you don't need to go and invest in some fancy stuff to make nice stuff, you know. Like, you can just use the camera that's in your pocket. It's nowhere near as deep as yours. Yours was way more thoughtful, you know,
Stop.
but it's fine. I'll take it. That's what
We
came
live
to
our
mind.
truths. We live our truths. I love it. Fraser, you're the best, man. Anything you want to leave with the audience? Tell them what you have going on.
No, I don't think so. I do have a Triple Whale sponsored post going up next week, guys, so don't hate me. I know I know that nobody likes it. I have pushed it to next week instead of tonight. So just don't hate me for that. But yeah,
Do you have any? So first of all, we're gonna come back to that, but I will say Fraser's being humble. If you are interested, come on, check out the studio, check him out. Go look at his website. They're freaking crushing it. So if you're looking for someone to help with ad creative,
go to fraggle.com, check out my agency. If you want some ads making, that will be great. Follow me on Twitter and on YouTube. Happy days.
tap in. Yeah, it's so interesting, the sponsored world. I talked about it yesterday a bit because I was just like, companies need to put themselves out there.
It's so pathetic that people are losing their rag over it. They aren't all going after, like, you know, the influencers who are selling the newest skincare product, or like when Apple released the new phone, or the tech guys. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. We're just people that have a following, and companies want to use that following in order to tell people about the new product. Right.
Yeah.
Yes, there's going to be some idiots that have never tried the products that they're promoting, but that's just part of the world. But man, people need to. It's not that deep. It is not that deep, guys. It's a sponsor post. Get over it. You know, get the bag while you can.
I think it's cool that's why you just said it, like straight up sponsored post coming. Like that label changes everything. You know what I mean?
I'm in the UK, so I have to put #ad or I will get sued. So, but like, you know, I think it's really not that deep. It's just, I think most of the people are a bit mad because they're a bit jealous that they're not being paid for it.
Oh my gosh, man, sending shots.
People are catching strays on this.
Oh man,
but it's true. I hate to say it. Sorry,
Fraser, I appreciate you, man. Like, this means a ton to me coming up here on the live and absolutely blessing people with your knowledge. Like, thanks a ton. People are going to tap in for sure. And we got to run this back at some point for sure.
Yeah. We love it, man. Anytime.
All right. Appreciate you. Now go lay on that couch before your next call so people continue to know that's a real background and you're good to go.
Will do.
Peace.
See you later. Bye.
Later. Oh, man. Everybody. Fraser is incredible as he's still here with me, trying to figure out how to get out. Fraser's incredible. I feel like there was so many good nuggets that were in there, right? I think the one thing I'll address is, like, on the Triple Whale end, I commented yesterday during ThumbstopLive on my opinions. Like, I actually think they've put the work in to build a product that is hopefully quite great. Like, it seems like they had so many beta users go through their process. And what they want to do is like, they have a great product. They have to figure out how to distribute this thing. Now, I'm not in the camp of like telling people how to feel. Like if someone's upset, you're upset. I get it. Like I'm more in the camp of like, how do we find harmony between the distribution of what we want to get great products out into the world and like not pissing people off. And Fraser did such a good thing in there. As much as he was joking, it's just like sponsored post coming, sponsored post coming. As long as it's like not hidden shilling, as I think what it's called, I think people are cool with that. Like it's as long as you know nothing's fake about it. And it's like money has been exchanged or whatever it might be. I'm an advisor in this. It makes it cool. So I think it's just about finding that balance. But I deeply respect the Triple Whale team and what they've done. Like they have a great product. They've changed so fast in this space. Like we are trying to adapt as well. So like I wish them nothing but success. And like seeing all the backlash is always so interesting. But like again, I don't tell people how to feel, and I understand why they feel this way. And it's just about finding that marriage of what the right thing looks like moving forward. But everybody, I'm always so curious to know like if there was any points that resonated from Fraser, because when we see Fraser's tweets or his newsletters that go out, they're quite tactical. Like it's how to run this ad, what hooks are working, all those different pieces. But the piece that I loved that we got to dive into were number one, his unique background that helps shaped how he views building ads. Like, why are you receiving the tactical advice that you did? It's because of Fraser's unique background that has helped bring that to life. And then number two, that we don't talk about enough, it's the way that teams build businesses. Like Fraser got into this game with his co-founder, Nick, to just build great ads, right? But all of a sudden, when you start thinking about scaling that business, there's so much more that gets into it. It's no longer just the work that you're doing. It's building the team, managing the people, becoming a leader in all those different steps. So hearing Fraser talk about and be quite vulnerable and like talk about like sending this job offer out, it has me nervous. Like that's real feelings. Like I think other business owners will really resonate with that. Like there's some fear and emotion that comes with that. But always knowing that you can get to the other side makes you feel great about it. At least it does for me. So there's so much more that I could unpack, but we are going to welcome Hannah to the stage quite soon. We got a couple people, right? And like Hannah's also going to bless her with her perspective and her unique experiences because she has a very fascinating career up until this point. But while it's just us, you saw me like pre it a little bit earlier. Oh, pre it, that's Toronto slang for show you earlier, show it early. But I now have sound effects that I want to get better at using. And now to humor me, I would like to play my sound effects for you and let me know if you can hear it. So the first one I got, which is always excitement, and you know my energy is always high. So we play this one. Straight, it's not actually an air horn. I think it's a vuvuzela or whatever it's called. But you know we got the air horns. Let them fire off. There we go. On the other side of things, whenever we hear something we're a little bit confused by, it's like, huh? What's going on? Bruh. So we get to bust those ones out and we go, huh? What do we think? Bruh. If you can't hear these, by the way, this is very embarrassing, but I'm having a ton of fun, at least on this front. What else do I got? What else do I got? I have this one. Let's go! Fired up. Equal to the air horns. When you got to let it sing, you just go, let's go! Let those sing off. This is one of the really cool things about stream. Like with streams, you can just kind of like let it fly and then you're good to go. Outside of the let's go, what else we got? We got the Undertaker sounds. Yup. These are the ones that you want to be able to bust out whenever you're thinking about like, okay, Undertaker wise, it's like, no way, people are gonna go over there. I don't want to see them over there. So many ways we could do that. You can see that was choppy. Oh man, I gotta fix that. And then the last one that I have is like I pulled it from different streams that I was watching, but just the motivational talks. So you just play this one in the background. Everybody, welcome to ThumbstopLive. We are live every Monday to Friday from 1. Start again. Everybody, welcome to ThumbstopLive. We are live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. Eastern. We are bringing people that you know and love, and we're going to be able to introduce you to all of your thought processes. Tell your friends, tell your family. It's going to be exciting too. Tell me that wasn't bars. I feel like there's so many different ways that we can play with the chat in this experience to make it so fun and easy to do. Okay. Let me go ahead and message Hannah to see if she can join with us today. But while she's joining us, what I will say is, and pull up onto screen here, is when I talk about ThumbstopLive, tap in with us. Tap in with us. It'll be nice and easy. You can see ThumbstopLive, and we'll figure it out. But let me go ahead and jump back into Twitter. Okay. I think this is one of those examples because we run live. Let me see. We have technical issues that come up, and we got to solve the technical issues. Is that okay? 100% that's okay. If it doesn't, got to figure it out. But I'm so excited for Hannah to join us just in a second here while we figure this out. Perfect. Let's go! So, I've talked about it. We had Fraser come up and share so many interesting insights. What I now want to do is bring the one and only Hannah to the stage.
Hello.
Welcome to the party.
I'm here now. I think I made it.
We're in. I feel like I gave you a dead link that is completely my fault, but we figure it out. We navigate. No problem.
What's up, Evan? How's it been going so far?
I'm living the dream.
Last.
You had a chance to tune in?
Yeah, super cool. So
yeah,
excited to chat today.
Most definitely. Yeah. No, honestly, like the technical issues that you and I had getting started up it made it a little more fun because I could play with this new soundboard that I got. So let me know if you can hear it because I'm playing noises and I'm not sure if people can hear, but let's go!
Wait, that's awesome.
I'm trying to be like these streamers, like they got all these noises and stuff, and I'm just trying to.
I can make some cool things happen with that.
I love that. Yeah, I can show you the streaming setup. I'm not great at it by any means, but I can show you what we have going on.
Hey, we're doing it.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Hannah, thank you so much for joining us. And there's going to be so much we can dive into relating to obviously the UGC creator side of your life, but there's an interesting story of how you got to this point. So I'm wondering if where we can kick off is just a quick, tell me about yourself, your work experience, what you're most well known for, anything you're willing to share, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been in the e-commerce D2C space for the past 9 years. So been here for a minute, and I got my start actually by kind of social media management. Honestly, I feel like that was really big in college at the time. And so I was running the social media for this public figure named Brendan Burchard. And that's when I was really just exposed to full funnel marketing and what it means to have a personal brand and how to create offers that can scale over time, and was just introduced to the coaching world, the speaking world, writing world, every single facet of it. So to him, I'm so thankful and grateful that, I took that opportunity when I was younger. Definitely served as the bedrock of my foundation. And then during my time with Brendan, I was there for a couple years. My husband and I were working on some accounts on the side, just running their ads. My husband's done paid ads for years, so I learned a lot from him also. So that is a definite hack in life. And so it was really great to learn from him. And then I was kind of doing the creative, and this was all before, you know, the e-commerce boom and creative as we know it, UGC as we know it was a thing. So we were just really trying to help small businesses grow. And through that, we then ended up, husband ended up founding an agency with a couple others in the space here. And we did that for a few years. That was a full service agency. Everything from your landing pages to your email marketing to your advertising, we were taking care of. And so we had a handful of clients and were really young at that time, had a great learning experience, and definitely just came from a background as a marketer first. Now, there were things that, you know, I know we've talked about how everything is connected and one thing leads to another. And looking back, you really are able to see how every little thing in your life, if you give it the opportunity, can really bring you context that you don't think is useful in the time, but just you wait. If you keep your head on a swivel, later it will be absolutely necessary. So the reason I say that is, like, I was in musical theater when I was younger. I originally wanted to be an opera singer and a sports broadcast journalist, and so always had like a desire to be in front of the camera or to be sharing like my skill set that way. So I just never thought that it would manifest itself into content creation and helping e-commerce brands grow. So yeah, after I was running the agency for around 3 years, I just knew that I wanted to stake my claim in the creative world. This was when UGC, the word UGC was like just starting to pop off. I think Social Savannah, I saw her course come out, and the e-commerce 2020 boom, where economy was just influxed with cash and consumer spending was at all-time high. And that really allowed us to just play, honestly, and to get a lot of good insights just by creating ads. And I was creating ads for our previous agency, not really video ads, more so like static, or we were still the agency that was paying thousands of dollars for high production ads at the time, but I would be like the talent in them, like reading whatever product that we had. So it's just so interesting to see how things have evolved, how costs have gotten cheaper for creation. And yeah, so that was kind of like the bedrock. And after that, I ended up where a lot of other creators do. Even though I loved, you know, being on camera, or I thought that I wanted to be, I was so afraid of the camera. I was so afraid of putting myself out there. I didn't have like a strong organic presence myself. And I knew that I wanted to spend a majority of my life like helping other brands versus like being an influencer. So in my mind, creating better ads was like the fastest way possible to do that, especially with my marketing background. So that's when I joined Billow, where a lot of other creators start. This was when Billow, I think it was around for like a month, like very, very beginning. I was getting paid $30 a video for my first ever ads, which are just crazy. But I'm really thankful that I actually like did the hard parts of content creation and like learned the hard way, because I think that you got to put in the time. You absolutely have to put in the time, the same way that I did on the marketing side. In order to flex that content creation muscle, there was no way to but through. And so doing, you know, 30, or I did like 100 videos in 30 days and got over the fear quickly. And in the process, talk about one thing leading to another. That's when good friend, and I'm sure everyone knows, Alex Cooper.
Shout out to Alex.
Shout out to Alex. Poached me, saw the opportunity, and really took a chance on me. And him and I connected at the beginning of his journey, and were able to work together for a year to build the foundation of what later became Ad Crates. We through multiple creator houses, and I helped him along the way. And yeah, it's just important. I say that because it's important to realize that like your own skill set will only get you so far, but leaning on like others is definitely a cheat code. And those who really do also see the benefit, like the mutual benefit working together. I think that we just both really saw that. So we were able to build some really great things together, and I was able to stake my claim in the creative field and, have a really large background in operations, creative operations, specifically agencies, and now content creation. Then I just wanted to validate my own creatives. Am I as good of a creator as I think I am? And so that really set me off on being like a results focused creator and becoming absolutely obsessed with numbers and data and kind of the synergy between the two, because they really go hand in hand. Can't have one without the other, and they both tell very different stories. So yeah, and now I am still content creating on a very limited basis for my partners. Normally that looks like partners who are willing to engage in a longer term experience. Like I do have a couple exclusivity partners who have purchased my rights for the year, so that I'm really focused on creating for that brand, as well as creating for brands with incentivized structures. Like I said, I see the results of the work, and so those are really encouraging to me. And I also do creative consulting and direction for e-commerce brands. I like to think of myself as a jack of all trades, or like a Swiss Army knife. I come with a lot of range, and so I love to just help with very niche problems. I have agencies that come to me for, oh, can you help us figure out how to get, we have 200 assets in our library. How do we repurpose this into net new concepts? Others who maybe don't have as streamlined workflows as they would like, or they know that there is a breakdown in their system. They can't tell if it's talent, if it's the individuals in the seats, or it's their processes. So I come alongside and help e-commerce brands at large, and then also still run a few accounts myself in the ad accounts and doing creator sourcing management. I review a lot of scripts behind the scenes. And I am starting a brand new venture, something I've never done before, which is my Meraki studio. I have the keys in hand, and just a natural synergetic way to expand the online needs of my customers in a more hi-fi setting, as well as a space to create community and to have more workshops and value-driven content. So yeah, I'm super excited, and that's me. That's my story, and I'm so excited.
There's so much to unpack. Like, first of all, where we got to start is congratulations. Got to clap it up. That's super big.
So good. I wish I could tell you that I knew exactly what I was doing, but to be honest, I really don't. So this is really fun, starting something new. And I don't want to come on here and pretend like I have it all figured out. This was actually more so of an endeavor that's like speed over perfection. And I've had some really awesome people in this space just encourage me to move forward and to go faster than I thought. And I am a perfectionist person, so it's really cool to kind of go against that for once. So I'm working on documenting the journey, and we'll definitely be bringing you guys along. So stoked for that.
I love it. I want to talk way more, of course, about like the content creation side,
Yeah.
but I know there's so many creators who are tapped in with you. Can you just bang off like the list of jobs that you've had? Because people just see the surface. It's like you create content now, but like what were all of the roles that formed you into who you are right now?
Yeah, honestly, social media manager. And then I did social media consulting for a while for other public figures after that. Then director of operations and operations at Active. And then from there, I was, creative director at AdCrate. And now content creator and consultant myself, as well as studio owner. And I guess I can now say founder, which is so cute.
I love that.
Still
That's
going.
like
Definitely.
all of the different experiences that have prepared you for like this moment. So it's like, it's so cool to see that come to life for you.
Yeah. And we're still going when it comes to content, great on the DR side of things, organic. One of my harder one of my like harder things challenges. So that is why, again, starting Meraki and creating organic content is going to be the other side. The same way I had to ask myself the question, am I as good of a DR creator as I think I am? Now we get to test, can Hannah do organic? I'm not so sure. We'll find out.
I'm so excited to see. I'm so excited to see how it goes. I know I'm trying to figure it out too on the organic front. So if we can share notes, would love that. In all honesty,
I'd rather be open than pretend like I have it all figured out. Because, like I said, a huge part of like how I've even gotten so far in my journey is standing on the shoulders of giants, or standing on the shoulders of people who have already come before you and have done the thing and are successful. And it is such a cheat code to ask for help. It is absolutely unreal. And so, yeah, that's been one of my biggest takeaways. Ask for help.
Let's talk about that. I feel like that's a really great starting point. So it's like those giants who you've been able to leverage in your life. Let's say there's a creator out there who's just getting started.
Oof.
How do you go about building the right community around you?
That
and
is
like,
such a good question.
how do you leverage them?
Yeah, you got to be careful because there's so many different things out there. People will just say things online and will take it as truth and run with it and hold it and not even realize that maybe it was holding us back this whole time because just one person said that. And so for me, it's like really being and this is a common theme for the way that I look at life in general, is just being a good observer. And it's like, first of all, just observing how people interact with each other, how they handle business, how they handle their, like what they're about, and choosing kind of like who you want to align with, because it can get hard. Like you feel like you have to align with all these people, but you just forget that they're normal people who are living also normal lives, just dealing with a different challenge. So for me, it's really about finding the individuals like that you foresee or you like could mirror or see some sort of synergy for, and honestly like providing them value up front, even if that's free. Like I think a lot of creators, like because they've been in space maybe 1-2 years, like do think that, you know, they're allowed or they can just naturally hit that next level or it's just going to come to them. But like truly you have to like go after it. And so, yeah, I would say that that's like first thing is like being an observer of like people that you do want help from. And then when you ask for help, like asking first, leading with value. And second from that, I would say is like pay them. Like paying for help is such a cheat code too. And I just don't think creators, specifically that niche, is going to be the one to pay for time. But it is such a hack. Like, and 9 times out of 10, if you ask, like a lot of the individuals won't even charge you. Like that's how, if you choose the right people, like that's how much they want to help and care about you too. And so that's just incredible. And I hope someday like I can be that way for others as, you know, continue to grow. But yeah, I would definitely say like paying for that help, and not just the help like, oh, I'm in this community so I can learn. Like that's easy. But it's like actually going to somebody who you're maybe are a little afraid to talk to, and like really seeing what value you can provide up front. Like I said, even if that's free work up front, like you want to get into creative strategy and you haven't seen the back of an ad account before, like you're going to need to give a little to get first. So yeah, I do feel like I've given a lot at the beginning of my career, and you just see that come back. And I hope that I can continue to do that. And the cycle for all focus like that, then that's a really healthy, you know, way to grow together. It's mentorship truly, which I just don't think this space has enough of, to be honest, especially when we're talking about like who the next generation of marketers are going to be. And a lot of them are these UGC creators. They're the most hot ones on the market who've already been trained. And so it's like, we need more of that. And on both sides, I think the willingness to bring creators and to train them, and to also on the creator side to become a little bit more marketing focused and result focused versus, ooh, why you got into UGC was freedom and money, which is awesome. That's going to come. there's a lot of money in marketing. It like makes the world go round. So you're in the right place. But let's just start with like value first. Absolutely. And knowing that you might have the training wheels on, and that's okay. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Amazing. As you're speaking through it, I feel like there's like the thing to call out is like you've reached a point in your career where there's still like there's so many things to figure out, but a lot of people would look at you and be like, "Oh my God, like she's figured it out. We're in a good spot." But then there's so much of a journey that it took to get there. And when I think about that journey, there's almost like 3 verticals that are coming to mind for me. So we've talked about the community version of it and like people you can lean on for the learning element. I think the other piece that we will get into is the craft itself. So how can you actually create content? But then the other portion that comes to mind for me is like the business end. So it's like, how am I thinking about like growing monetarily? How am I thinking about like the performance of my creatives that I'm making? Can you walk through like your experience on the business end of what charging way back looks like and what it looks like now, and any advice you have along the way for other creators who are out there?
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Like I said, I originally started at $30 and I think I was there for a while. Like, honestly, like at least 3 months, it was $30. And I also think there's just like something with confidence too. Like you do have to forge your own path here. And so that means like kind of also tuning out the noise of what others think is right for you, what others like. Again, I have fallen into that trap of just like taking someone's one opinion and running with it. And that's why I think it's super important, like I said, to like keep your circle small and like the people who actually champion you on and like want to see you succeed. So that's like for sure starting ground. The business side of things, I think I learned very, very early on that business is not fair. It is not a fair place over here, to be honest. And so it's like a lot of creators will talk about like usage rights or all these things. It's not fair that they get my content. And I'm like, honey, business is not fair. Like it is just not that way. So it's really about like these trade-offs, this give and take, give and take. And like I said, I've always been the person to stake on the giving side. So I'd rather over deliver and over give in every situation, because guess what? What's the strongest form of marketing is word of mouth still. So it's like, again, there's so much information out there and it's just tuning that noise and like, what are your philosophies? How do you want to interact in the space? Write down how do you want people to feel as a result of working with you? What is your bar? Like these things are so incredibly important to define for yourself instead of just listening to what they should be or look like. So I would say like that. Also experience shapes results. And so the more experience I had, the better the results ended up being, because you have more context to bring into those experiences. And you cannot just like expect to walk into an experience. You have a choice. You have to make a choice to do that. So for me, $30 a video was a choice that I knew would pay off with the right, intention. So I would say like from a business standpoint, experience, and the faster that you can get that experience is better. One time in an ad account, one creative strategy client, whatever, one content creation, like it's not enough. And so you have to build the muscle, flex it. So yeah, from a business side, I would definitely say that that's super important. I will also say I have been more brand focused than creator focused. And the creative side and the creators have naturally come, and I've been able to have amazing conversations and build, my own community with the creators themselves. But it has always been business first. It's never been friendship first. It's never been these things. I learned also very early on that doing business with friends, like you got to be careful. And so again, stick to like what is like going to be right for you, and develop that plan and like the likelihood that it entails some sort of hardship is high, and that's a good thing. It's like, honestly, if it makes your hands sweat, if you are a little nervous to do it, like, dive in and don't pretend you know it all either. Ask for help, like I said. So, and be a learner and a student and a grower, like, for all of your life. That's what I have been, and it's definitely served me very well. So business acumen, yeah, business isn't fair. Add value up front. Know and direct like your own path. Don't just listen to everybody around you and like, oh, everyone's saying that the next thing is creative strategy. So like, I'm like, that's all we're talking about now. That's all we're doing. Like, they're like, let's broaden there's so many problems in the D2C space. Like, let's broaden our thinking and really like, what do you want? And work backwards from that. So I don't think that was very helpful, but there's probably some nuggets in there somewhere, hopefully.
I think the place to go from here is like, you started at $30 a video. And I think the idea is just like monetization, like how to think about that, right? Because there's so many people who are talking about, do I charge $150 a video? Do I charge $100? Do I get like free stuff? Do I go performance incentive and shake it out that way? So speaking about your experience going across that spectrum from the $30 mark to exploring all those different options would be very helpful for the audience.
Yeah, this is an ever evolving economy. I mean, you're talking about the creator economy at large and how brands are doing business with those creators specifically. So it is a two-way street, not just a one. You know, you have the creators and then you have brands and agencies. And so for the creators themselves, I would say, obviously, we all got to put in our time. If you are a brand new creator, you definitely have some time to put in. And so when it comes to performance structures and those types of things, that is something I would stay away from until you can do what I did, which was validate your creatives. There are a number of other creators in the space who I have seen take over time, take this route. And what it tells me about those creators is that those creators know their numbers. Those creators know the impact of their ads and are able to back up their results. And I think that that is a very small portion of the market. I think people want it to be bigger than it is, but I do think it's actually a smaller pool as it currently stands. We need more mentorship, going down the line to help bring those other creators like up to that, even that thinking, because creators who are willing to take like a percentage deal are just operating on a different plane, in my opinion, than the creator who's chasing her next brand deal or just looking to work with a cool brand to put on her portfolio, his portfolio. So I would definitely say there's that, like, brand new. Definitely there's a place, like, let's keep you on like that traditional structure and work your way up. The more and the way that you can feel better about your rates are by your results. Like, let's be ethical content creators and like not just, again, because someone says that's the number you charge, because you could also be really like pigeonholing yourself or cutting yourself out of deals that have exponential growth down the line, etc. So got to keep it open. And then on the performance structure, I have, as we know, this is like a hot topic and something that has been around for a couple of years now. Alex and I used to talk about it. We would try it with AdCreate years and years ago, but there are so many nuances. And so I feel like it's a really hot topic right now for performance deals and performance structures with creatives, but there are a lot of nuances. As a creator, I'm going to talk from the creator side first. From the creator side, now I'm pretending like I have no marketing experience as just a creator. There are a few things that you have to take into consideration when building out these kinds of structures or agreeing to them. The more that you are confident in your creatives and your results, the more sense it makes for you to take on a structure like this, because you already have seen those results. Maybe you have been obtaining case studies or information from your clients who have been willing to share data metrics with you and are able to confidently move in that direction because you have enough confidence in the creatives and the results that it gives. The second is the product itself. The product has to be a good product. And I would say normally solve a problem. Would I ever go on a performance structure for a fashion brand? Absolutely not. There, in no world would I do that. Because unless it was like a very, very like something that was solving a real big problem here, I would not. So the product and product lineup in and of itself is like really important. And I do not think that most creators know how to determine what is a good product and not. So therefore you could be putting yourself in a position where that product may not be able to serve that structure over the course of time. So we're also looking at their offer structure. I know a lot of creators aren't looking at that structure. And what about seasonality with that product? Okay, you said yes to a blanket brand, but for half of the year, they're getting a minimal or a reduced spend because of seasonality, but yet you're tied to those results. That is something to look out for. Another thing to look out for is stock issues. I mean, what creators are like, oh my gosh, like, because I've run into the problem where, okay, the founders are out of stock. Now what? We can't run ads. We can't run. You can't even do anything. So it's like, it's not a one size fits all solution. Absolutely not. And there are a lot of things to take into consideration. Who's a media buyer? Who's running the ads? What does that structure look like? Do you trust that structure? And then there is the data and reporting of that. Will they give you numbers? They give you what you need in order to, do you trust them? Are they just another e-commerce bro agency that's just looking to actually make cheaper creative and know you won't hit those marks? So there's a lot to take into account on the creator side. So I take on performance deals on a very limited basis. I love to work with products that solve problems. And the more comfortable you are, like, that's why I say, work with the account for a while before you just like jump into a performance structure. Because that conversation will naturally begin to happen if they're a good client to you, they see the value of your work, and they'll build that out. On the brand side and the agency side, I see very few agencies taking this performance structure as it currently stands, but I know that it is happening and beginning. But from the brand side, you know, there are some of those same things to consider and to take into consideration. But I would say the bigger thing is more so the question, percentage of spend or flat fees on a growing scale. That's more so the question that I see more brands and having. And I have been on both sides of those. I will say that Carpe right now, earlier this year, helped them create their Carpe Creator Club program. And this was the first program that we've been able to create that is not based off of a percentage of spend. You have spend milestones instead. So we're looking at like $100 extra. So you get paid a base, $300 base, $350 base for any video that you create. And then that's a very small pool of creators that have proven themselves out. And then that slides upward from different spend amounts, 5K, 10K, 25K, and 100K milestones. And then within those payouts for each, all totaling up to, the incentive bonus totals up to around $2,000, which is amazing for one ad. So that is more so the structure that I have seen work best, because it is highly incentivizing. It's also easier for the brands to track. And they really only need to report on those metrics if you hit those milestones, which is very helpful. So I would say that that is the structure I am liking. And I know that there's a couple other creators. Shout out to Tegan, she hit, and Kelly, both within that program. And like, I think the first month hit over 100K in ad spend for that client. So that just goes to show that it's highly incentivizing, and it allows the best creators to have a seat at the table and to really partner with the brand and create content that is going to speak to their audiences, live with the product, be with the product. And so I'm a huge fan of that structure. And believe me, I would love performance structures. I have a few myself, but there is something about that sweet spot of security, knowing that like you have these, it's almost gamified. You have these experiences that you can hit and milestones you can hit while still being incentivized. So that's kind of my viewpoint on those performance structured deals. I'm definitely a fan of that scaling structure based not on a percentage, but based off of like that threshold of spend. So
tiered systems. Yeah, tiered systems sound great. I think so. We've covered the community portion and like tapping into mentors in the space. We've covered the business element and scaling there. Now it's like the craft itself of creating content. So I think what I'm very curious about here is like, how the heck do you make absolute bangers that go viral? What's the approach?
I wish I could say that every single one is an absolute banger, but we all know that that's not the truth. And that's why, like, even last week I posted something that didn't. It was a rap that I did that didn't hit. I mean, it got close, but it wasn't there. And so it's like, at least I tried though. But what was different about that ad is that it's not like everyone else's ad. And I think that's the secret sauce. Like, that is truly the secret sauce. Even though that one ad didn't hit, my philosophy is to tune out the noise. And I know that sounds so countercultural or, you know, in this space, but I did learn very early on. And I read this book. I don't know if you guys know this book. Probably some people know this book, Tested Advertising Methods. But the first chapter talks about how, and this is like an old book, right? This chapter talks about how everything is just like regurgitated information. And we all take whatever that information is to be truth, especially when we're younger. And so in this space, it's very easy to hear a best practice, to this is the way an ad should be. This is the way that the creator economy runs. This is the way that brands work with creators. And I quickly learned that if it cannot be validated with data, how true is it? How is it just an opinion, or is it truth? And so why I say that is because I have spent, you know, the past couple of years tuning out that noise and instead focusing on observing life. And I think that it's in the observing, in the observation, that we're able to create the best ads. When I was in college, I had an individual, he was a copywriter for, I believe, an agency, Periscope in Minneapolis, came and spoke to our school. And I asked him, what is the number one most important thing for copywriting that you believe? And he told me that it was observation. And I have stuck with that since that conversation. And it is like the most powerful thing that we have. And all it requires is for us to actually be very counterintuitive and turn off the phone and go live your life. And so that is how I make good ads, is by observations. And I write down my observations, the smallest of observations. And so what does this look like in practice? For example, I had an observation by going through some of my old ads that performed decent. And I was like, okay, I just want to spot some similarities. Now, this wasn't looking at best practice or anyone's advice. And what are like some common themes of these ads? And I realized, like, for say it was a blanket brand, like anytime I would say this word, like chronically cold, like, right? Like that's an observation that it would resonate with the audience. So what if I was able to take that hook and make it an actual hook? And then that went on to spend, you know, over $1 million, like over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, from one simple observation within the ad. So you can look at it within your own ad account or within your own ads and what you produce, but also around you. So it's like, I have different scenarios where humor, for example, I saw an organic piece of content from a comedy individual, and it was like, Me learning how to become a toilet so my husband will spend more time with me. Okay? That is the power of observation. And that went viral. Why did that go viral? Because she took a very, very common thing. My husband spends more time on the toilet than he does with me. That is the key observation. But then when you take and you extrapolate that observation, she is over there Googling how to become a toilet. She's over here like becoming the shape of a toilet. She's over here writing down toilet qualities. And everyone's laughing and engaging. And that is the power of taking a very small observation and extrapolating it into something that every human can connect with. And I think that you cannot find those things. That didn't come from a best practice. That came from her. Why is my husband in the toilet longer than me? Like, and won't spend as much time. Like, and that's what people want to see. That's what AI can't replicate. AI doesn't know that. And so I really believe it's like, let's get back to the old days of becoming like how advertisers used to think about humans. And I think it's like at that conjunction of listening to your customer and observing the customer and observing the product and in their life, like where can you make those synergetic moments happen? And that's why I take swings that are different from the, plain UGC script and style that we're seeing everyone regurgitate. And sometimes I wonder, where is this going? Because like, it is also the same. And instead, like put down the phone, go live life and record your observations. Put yourself, become that customer for the day. Go live your life like that customer does and see what observations, like, I don't know, but we need to like get out of the cookie cutter mold of, the traditional, what we think content looks like. So I would say that's first step is in viral content is just being a good observer and being willing to write those down and to take a swing at them. Because that's the other hard part. It's very easy just to, for the sake of it, put another ad out into the world and hope it works. But the swing, people who do this well, Carpe does do this very well with some of the outside of the box, like content that they produce. Social Savannah, she's out there trying, some different hooks of like, okay, so like her, what is it? The rock, paper, scissors hook. Like that is a very normal thing that people do, right? Is like, and can all like connect to. So it's like those moments, I'm so for that. And I think that that's why the content works well. And the third part of that is storytelling. And we just don't do enough of it. I think that we think we know what storytelling is. But again, if you're not observing, you can't tell a story. So I just think it's all interconnected and observation is like at the forefront of it.
Huge. Okay. One of the things I'm curious about is whether it's a brand or a content creator themselves, what's the biggest mistake you see either of them making when it comes to content creation?
Content creation.
Mm-hmm.
Content creation. Yeah, I would just say laziness. Like, honestly, I know that's crazy, but it's just lazy. Like, I think that we have gotten to a place where, it's easier than it was 5 years ago to be a creator with zero following and to, as long as, to engage in this kind of community. But I think that people take the easy route with it. There's no one really setting bars of like, what does it look like to be a strong direct response not copywriter, but I mean, yeah, part of it is copywriting, right? That's like, there's no one setting these bars. And so I think that is needed and something that I just see regurgitated from all the scripts I review. It's like they literally all sound the same. Like no unique storytelling, no personalized experience. And that is the heart of UGC. So without it, you're literally just an actor. So don't confuse yourself that you're like a true creator versus just an actor. Like if you're being lazy with your script writing and your concepting and And I think that there's a pendulum too, where other creators too, and this is me, I've been here, making too pretty of ads, or just like all these edits and cuts and blah, blah, blah. And there's a place for all of that still. But I just think, the storytelling, like if we could focus on storytelling more, we will create better ads, period. And that goes for the brand side too. You know, they're looking on the brand side, content creation wise. I would say there is some laziness as well. They want to keep costs low, and I absolutely get it. But I think like one of the biggest two on the brand side, one, creating content that they think that their customers like, when in reality they don't even know their customer, and that kind of content does not resonate with them at all, and they wonder why their accounts aren't working. That's like creating ads for you and what you think is good, or based off of best practices. Scary. I did do an audit for an agent or for a brand recently. They came back to me after a year of working with another agency in the market. After I was completed with my audit, I found that they had not created a single ad that had beat out my creative in an entire year. And this individual thought that like the agency was producing good results. And I'm like, how can that possibly be the case? And when I looked at their creative, I could see immediately that they were reactionary based off of what they saw on X and best practices. And there was no place for a third of the content that they were running in their ad accounts because of the product that they were selling and who they were selling to. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. And so I think like that's a big culprit, and people do it way more than they think because they see, oh, that's a good ad, we should try that ad. But like, does it have a place for your product and your audience? I don't know. So that would definitely be it. And then the other is not keeping their core creators in their pocket. Like, what I mean by that, individual or brands like Carpe who have these programs to keep the best creators in their brand and or business, I believe like are going to have like a leg up, because you have this mutual incentivized relationship, and your audiences can get used to these faces, and there's so much more that you can do when you have good, strong content partners. And so I think that there's just so much turnover, and I see a lot of brands do this like new face without ever really letting like a creator win in the account. And so I would say more brands, if they can start figuring out how to create their pods and have a place, it doesn't need to be every creator, and you can still supplement new faces. But I think a pit that brands are getting in is like not thinking that, or thinking creators are disposable. And the brands who have championed and actually kept in some of the best creators, they are producing content that your competitors aren't, because the creators are extremely incentivized to do so. So that's probably one of the bigger pitfalls that I'd find.
Huge. So I have a couple final questions that come to mind for me. One of them, I want to get to the hot takes side of things, and you've dropped a couple bombs along the way. But I'm wondering, at this moment in time, do you have a creative strategy hot take right now?
Ooh. Oh yeah, I do. I'm just trying to figure out a way to word it appropriately. I would say the creative strategy hot take is like, I think that we just need more. I'm very wary of the UGC creator turned strategist. That's my hot take. My hot take is that I'm actually pretty wary of UGC creators turned strategists. And I can almost guarantee you I'm not the only one out there who believes that or thinks that. And I hate to say that, but I do see a parallel happening based off of like what happened maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago when the UGC boom. And all these creators thought that like that was the thing. And now there's like the creative strategy boom. And my fear is that there's no one really guiding this in a way that is results backed. And, you know, there's courses out there and there's like these different things, and that is awesome. But like, again, I do review many scripts on a daily, weekly, hundreds of scripts. And from some creative strategists, it worries me the lack of true storytelling, the lack of true concepting, and there is a breakdown. And if we don't catch it now and we don't become better marketers first, then I think that we could find ourselves with a lot of turnover. And I don't want that. I want sustainable growth for creators. And so instead of seeing it as the next income boom or income whatever, it's like the bigger question should be like, how can I like become more of a strategist by validating my results first? Instead of becoming money focused, become results focused, and the latter will naturally happen. And so I just get that little fear, and it scares me to even say that because there's many friends out there that I have that are genius. But again, it also goes down to like experience. There's just not enough experience. There's not enough brands willing to handhold and give this opportunity for growth. And so there's just this gap, and it's uncomfortable right now. And I mean, I talked to many brand owners and agency owners, and their number one turnover is I've tried 6 strategists this year. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And I truly believe it's because we don't have like the results to back it, and the other thing with results is that they breed confidence. When you know that you have your results, it breeds that confidence, which makes your creative swing so much stronger than just, this is what I was told is creative strategy, and I have to do, and I have to pump out 20 concepts this month. And so I took this inspiration, and there, I did it. Perfect. Nah, it's a lot more than that. So that's my hot take. There it is. I said it. Oh my gosh. I don't even have the perfect solution to it either.
I feel like you mentioned it earlier though, as like a starting place. I don't know if it's the perfect solution, but the wording I believe you used, it's like, are you an actor or are you actually a creator? Right? Because like at the lowest level, the acting portion is like, can you just fulfill the ask in a really strong way?
Mm-hmm.
But the value where that lives of what you described as a creator and a strategist, you abstract yourself out of the actor mode into like the real value, which is like, what are we going to shoot? How are we going to shoot it? Why are we going to shoot this?
Mm-hmm.
So I think like that is a really good first step from what you had mentioned earlier.
Yep, I would agree. It's just a different mental model to be thinking in. And it really is, a lot of people say me first, but like I operate off of brand first, and like, don't we have the same goals to make
100%.
more money? And so it's like, when you share that, they can feel that, they can see it, they want to trust you, you want to trust them. And then there's this symbiotic relationship where you feel comfortable enough to actually test, to ask questions, to move forward. And yeah, I would say it's hard. It's one of those things like, and it's not just on the creator side either. Like I've worked with many agencies and brands. I audited one agency, and I had their creative strategist go through like a performance sheet where she was ranking her daily activities and her problem solving. I asked her, how much time do you spend problem solving as a creative strategist? And she said probably 5% of her week. And that rubbed me really wrong, because I believe a creative strategist's first job is actually to be a problem solver. And and so when we really dug into that, why aren't you able to problem solve? It was actually because her leadership team was the one who was historically used to reporting and managing the accounts, and they would not provide an environment for her in order to have her take on that risk. And I know it's a risk, but they were withholding that from her, which made her not be able to flex that problem solving muscle and to keep her as their top strategist doing meaningless tasks that she probably shouldn't be doing. So that's why I say it's not just on the creator side. It really is like a hand holding experience together, especially if you're going to train them up, because as we know, creative strategists, there are very few good ones in the scene. And so it's like, in my mind, most creative strategists are puppies, or what I would consider puppies. They are great. They are highly trainable, but you have to realize what you're working with. Do not expect a rock star out of a puppy when the puppy needs to be trained. And so it's like the brands that is up to them. And if you want a creative strategist who is eventually a rock star, you will see that as a puppy, and you will slowly be delegating and helping them to reach those levels, because you know in the long run they're going to be able to stay with your brand, and you're not going to have as much turnover, and it's going to be worth the training in the end. So that's what I'd like to see from brand side too as well. And yeah, those are my hot takes.
Love it. Hannah, you've been so generous with your time. Thank you so much. I am wondering, to end us off, if you have any final words that you want to leave with the audience.
Sounds like, do you have your last words?
Oh God.
No, I just say, like, yeah, the power of observation. Like, again, it sounds so silly, but like, dive into it, look into it, and you'll quickly realize that it's at like the center of everything. And yeah, so that's probably like my big thing. And yeah, I just thank you guys so much for having me on, and I can't wait to see what other speaking of rock stars, what other rock stars we get on here. And yeah, this is awesome. So hopefully something was helpful, and yeah, just thank you.
Perfect. If you have anyone who you think should get on here, for sure let them know. But everybody, round of applause for Hannah. You absolutely killed it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.
Peace. Everybody, this was how we're wrapping up week 1 of ThumbstopLive. Let's go! I feel like this is the exact way that I want to end it off. We've had so many great people already join us. Barry and Dara kicked off the week, absolutely smashed it. We've had people from Motion, who you've now seen how we operate, including Trav, Reza, and Alicia, giving so many tips and tricks related to AI, building a business, and organic social for B2B companies. And today, you've heard from Fraser and Hannah, absolutely killing it just on the production end of building amazing creatives and the creator side of things, of what that can look like. We have so many great sessions in store for you next week. Like I was saying earlier, you do not, I said it again, you do not, let me say it one more time, you do not want to miss out with what we have going on. So for anyone who is curious, what I will say is make sure you go ahead and check us out on X at ThumbstopLive. We are live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. EST, and we're going to be bringing some of the voices that you see so much in the DTC and e-com space. But y'all, this has been a blast. I'm so excited for the journey ahead, but thanks for wrapping up week 1 with me, and we'll catch you real soon. Peace.